Hi, my name is Jose Parra. Today we're going to be looking at if-else statements. We can think of if-else statements as like a hierarchy, meaning the first case or the first if is asked, it doesn't meet that condition. If it doesn't meet that condition, it's going to go down to the one below. If it doesn't meet that condition, it's going to go to that one below that one, and so forth until it meets one of the desired conditions. Today we're going to explore how we can use an if-else statement when we ask the user an arithmetic problem, and we can see how, depending different values, it will return the user to try again. And this is going to be performed through using an if-else statement. If we look here, we first are going to start off with defining what our program is going to be called. It's called calculation. Then we define our scanner, meaning it's going to be what's going to be taking the input of the user. Then we define our correct answer. We say that our correct answer is going to be 14. And we're going to first start by stating the input to be something other than 14. We just pick 0. Then we're going to ask our user the question, what is 5 plus 7 plus 2? Now this is where we're going to get into the while loop. The purpose of this while loop means that it's going to keep running the body of this whole thing of this if else statements until we reach something that does equal to 14, or until we get the right answer. So our while loop states that it's going to run as long as the input is not equal to 14. So we said our input is 0, that automatically is going to be saying that it doesn't meet this, it meets this condition, therefore it's going to start running the methods within the body of the while loop. The purpose of doing this is that we can keep a continuous question until the user answers it correctly. The beginning of the body starts with, now we're going to define the input again. However, now the new input is going to be defined by what the user inputs for the value, meaning their guess. Once we define that, now we're going to be defining all the if statements for all the possible values that the user can input. In this case, we inputted all the values from 0 to 14. So we say if input equals 0, then it's going to print out system.out print, or it's going to print out incorrect, try again. And if we try 1, it's going to do the same thing, and so forth until we get the correct answer, like we said before, was 14. And then it'll say correct answer. However, the cool thing about this is that if you input a wrong thing, since we first defined the while loop to be that it's going to run as long as it meets the requirement that the input does not equal 14, if you ever input anything other than 14, this while loop will continue to ask to try again, meaning that whenever you get a wrong answer, it's going to ask you to run through all the if else cases or statements once more until you get the right answer. Once you get 14, that does not meet this requirement, therefore it meets the end of the while loop or the end of the program. Let's see how this looks in action. So if we hit run, like we said, it's going to ask what is 5 plus 7 plus 2. Let's say we put in 12. It's going to say incorrect, try again, meaning it wants us to try again. So now let's input 12. Again, same thing. 13, same thing. If we input 14, which was supposed to be the correct answer, we get congratulations, you are correct, and the program ends. This is a pretty cool way of using if-else statements because it allows us to create a lot of possible values of what someone can answer, and it can create a loop until they get it right, meaning it allows us to let the user try multiple times, and it allows us to separate case by case using our if statements.